Hello, everyone. Tim Gabar, Superintendent of Mount Pleasant Area School District. Joining us today is Dr. Beth Hudson, Assistant Superintendent. Dr. Hudson's going into her third year this year at Mount Pleasant Area School District, and we're happy to have her with us. It's been a great partnership, and she's helped bring a lot of great programming and direction here to the school district. First off, if I would just throw it into your court, if you look at the first 2 years and you had to look at some reflections on a few programs and initiatives and what have you, can you speak to a couple of those things that stand out for you?
Yes, I think we've made great strides with personalizing learning for students, especially at the elementary level, where the principals and Mrs. Hare have worked very, very hard to implement frameworks that enable students to receive very individualized interventions. And we're seeing tremendous growth as a result. So accolades to all of them. We are extending that now up to the secondary levels, where we've already had some things in place, but we're just going to focus on getting better at what we do. I think that over the past few years, we've looked at pedagogy and really focused on providing teachers the training that they needed to move, engage, and assess kids in ways that prepare them for the contemporary workforce demands that they'll face. We have to look at emerging technologies and stay abreast of that. And I think our teachers are really experimenting with how do I use artificial intelligence in the classroom to enhance learning experiences, to help me as a professional become more efficient at what I do, and just to ensure that kids know how to use it responsibly, and that they understand that there can be bias and inaccuracies in what AI turns out. And so I'm just teaching kids to vet the outputs from AI. We've made a great deal of progress. The project-based learning, that's really focused on preparing kids for the contemporary workforce demands. So secondary teachers have all been trained in that. This coming year, elementary teachers will have a year of training on that. And with that training comes some degree of coaching. It's not that a trainer is in the room with the teachers, but teachers have the opportunities to create lessons where kids are working on a project-based experience, and they get to receive feedback from the trainer on what they can adjust to make it better. And they also get the feedback on what are you doing really well? How are you engaging kids in ways that are really have project-based learning qualities inherent
Absolutely.
in those experiences. So I think we've made a lot of strides with the Portals project. We had a project where we really partnered with our historical society and Case Technologies and Epic Games to teach our kids the skill of scanning a structure in the community with historical significance, and creating a 3D rendition of it,
Bringing it to life,
and then conducting interviews with people who once worked at the building of focus was the L.E. Smith Glass Company, and so then students connected with people who lived and really worked in the factory at the time. And they were able to learn firsthand from their experiences, and to prepare that for, the AP English students worked on a documentary that tied it in. Fifth graders were working on learning about the glass blowing process. And so we really had different activities at all the levels of the school system.
Yeah, the junior high folks, I remember, were doing advertisements and some brochures for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a community event that brought everyone out, and we had people that came in from out of state even.
Put on their 3D.
So, yeah, they got to look into the 3D virtual reality goggles and experience the glass factory as it was in its heyday. So a lot of exciting things over the last few years, and looking forward to advancing in those ways.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And they had those involved. I just smiled as you talk about some, because they were fun projects, involved a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know another thing is we reached out to our families in ways and embraced the social media a little bit more so than we had in the past through Apogee. You'd come and you'd had experience with Apogee before, and we were able to research it and put it into play. Can you speak to what it is and how people who don't know what it is might be able to take advantage of that to really stay connected with the school district?
Sure. So Apogee is a tool that enables us to share information with parents via multiple platforms. So we can push out to our website, to the app live feed, to Facebook, and to our Twitter accounts all simultaneously. And, as they say, great stories don't just happen in administrative offices or during those times when we have an opportunity to share with people all the amazing things that are happening in our schools on a daily basis.
Right.
So Apogee enabled us to, teachers have a mechanism now to say, hey, this is happening in my classroom today. Would you put these pictures out? And here's a caption that goes with it. So, all across our school system, K to 12, we have teachers submitting stories of what's happening in their classrooms every day. Things that happen on the football field, things that happen in the theater department. We're able to feature a very well-rounded perspective of what's happening in our schools. And so the families are getting to see not just the icing on the cake, but the cake itself, what's happening inside. And every single day, there are amazing things happening that we get to showcase.
Yeah, and I know we're able to do that at the building level. So if you go on to Ramsey can have its own, as well as we have it from the district level. So we have a combination of it.
Right.
So yeah, so if you have not gone on to Apogee, we would highly suggest doing so. And
Right, I would download the app. I would also suggest following us on Facebook. You would find us at Mount Pleasant Area School District. And then on Twitter, our handle is at MPASD Vikings with an S on the end. So we invite you to follow us there and also to check our website periodically for updates.
fantastic. Yeah, thank you for your leadership in that. It's been fun to follow that, and it's been able to give us a little more exposure to great things we're doing. We've had various trainings here throughout the spring months as well as in the summer as we prepare for 24-25. Can you speak to any of those items that are taking place or any of those trainings taking place as we prepare for the upcoming school year?
So we've had trainings on high-impact interventions at the elementary level. Students receive tiered interventions, so depending on the severity of their need, they may need very, very intensive interventions, and those require specialized training. So that's one area. Another area in the middle schools, we are blocking the English language arts classes, and so no longer will writing and reading be taught separately. A teacher will have a block period where they teach both of those subjects, and it allows for better continuity. Also requires, though, that a lesson be structured differently so that students are engaged the entire time, that they're changing up activities and so forth. So we've had some training on that. We are implementing a program called Rewards, and it is a literacy program for students who struggle with reading and writing, and particularly adolescents. And so those trainings are happening today, even as we conduct this interview.
Right.
We are looking at bringing some of the systems that we use to collect data, to assess students and to collect data on their needs, Dibbles and Spring Math. We're looking at bringing that from the elementary level now up to the junior high level, so that we can continue to assess students' needs and deliver high fidelity interventions to them. There have been trainings on, we use Apex. It's a program that is computer adaptive. It enables us to see where students' needs are, and then it puts them on a learning path that meets them where they are. And so teachers have had training last year, but we need to continue with that this year so they become even more skilled at using it. And
I know over the next couple of days, we actually have some student assistance training that we'll be doing each building and then administrative teams and teachers and part of SAP teams throughout the district at the intermediate unit over the next couple days. So
yes.
Yeah. Great. So MTSS and PBIS data teams, we talked about the high school. Things are moving up into the high school with data teams this year. It's really, well, actually it was here last year, but they're actually looking to improve it and use the Win Room, the LRC, and the library. Especially at the elementary, though, we're getting special one interventionists. Can you speak to what that looks like? How to use our intervention specialists and assist the elementaries?
Yes, exactly. Well, first, for those who might be listening, we use a lot of acronyms in education, and so but I do like to take the time sometimes to say what MTSS stands for. It is a multi-tiered system of supports,
Correct.
and as mentioned previously, we assess students on a large scale to determine where they are at specific points in time during the year. So at the beginning of the year, we'll assess their reading skills and their math skills, and we'll find out what they need. And then depending on the level of severity of interventions that they need, we have different tiers. Principals have worked hard at providing flex time and intervention time so that teams of teachers can converge upon different grade levels at different times during the day and provide interventions that match their needs. PBIS is a positive behavior support program that is school-wide, and so it pretty much creates a culture of meeting kids where they are and acknowledging positive behaviors and actually explicitly teaching what expectations are for positive behavior. And that also interventions are tied to that. When kids would need behavioral interventions, they can come through that program. You can't have either MTSS or PBIS without having data teams. So we're constantly assessing students' needs, whether they be academic, social, emotional, or behavioral, and providing them exactly what they need. I like to say, what's fair isn't always equal. And so we focus more on equity instead of equality. We're looking at giving every child what he or she needs academically, behaviorally, socially, emotionally. And that doesn't always look the same for every student. So these infrastructures, these frameworks in our schools really help us to personalize education.
Thank you for the clarifications on the acronyms, because I was just talking to Mr. Shaner prior to this discussion, and he had mentioned the fact that, boy, we have so many acronyms in this profession. Like, yeah, you're right. And what do? I go right through and read through them without even giving an explanation. So thank you for those.
Yes, you're welcome. I don't think I spoke to the intervention specialist.
Okay.
We were talking about,
because we have heavily invested in there was through our Title I funding. So
right. A change that's happened since I've been here is we've moved from a targeted assistance Title I program model to a school-wide model.
Yes.
Which means that not only students who are showing a high risk receive Title I services, but our Title I services serve all students. So regardless of their level of risk, they're all being served through the MTSS model. So fits like a glove with what we want in our schools. This year with Title I funding, we are supporting 3 positions. We call them intervention specialists. There'll be 1 per elementary school, and they will, their role is to support teachers, especially the special education teachers, in with the provision of the level, like the tier 2 and tier 3 interventions. And so they'll be involved in delivering those under the direction of a teacher, and also in progress monitoring and, communicating with classroom teachers and the special education teachers on adjustments that might need to be made with those interventions. And so, as we intervene, kids' needs change. And so what they might have needed last week will not be the same as what they need this week. And so people that fill those positions will be instrumental in just enhancing our MTSS.
Absolutely. And the timing's perfect for that. I mean, we've done a great job with our administrative team and our teaching staff and the communication cooperation at the elementary levels, and it's time.
Right.
It's a perfect fit for that to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
And thank you to yourself, and I know Mr. Doritza and a few other folks, and Ms. Hare and principals thinking about how to do this through the Title I mechanism.
Yeah.
So thank you for that leadership on it. And finally, just any other items of note. It's a 24-25 school year. It's exciting. The students are all coming back. We've got welcome back days scheduled here, 21st, 22nd. Anything else on your mind coming into the upcoming school year that you'd like to point out?
Hey, so when I came to Mount Pleasant, there was already a motto in place: move, engage, assess students, every single student, every single day.
Sure.
So we're going to revisit that this year. I think we have a lot of new people on board that maybe weren't here when that initially came to be. And We're going to kick off the school year by making sure that everyone understands, has a common shared understanding of what that means and what that looks like in practice. And so once we gain consensus on that, and we look at what are examples and non-examples of engaging kids or continuously assessing kids, keeping things moving in the classroom, then we're going to make sure that they receive any professional learning needed to amp up their skills in doing that, but also start to acknowledge and visit classrooms regularly to show teachers and students this is a priority for us.
Absolutely.
When people are moving, engaging, and assessing kids, when that's happening on a daily basis, we're functioning at our optimal best. And so, just making sure that people understand that's a priority. It's not something that today we say we want to do and then we're not going to revisit it. It's something that we're going to live and breathe every single day.
Yeah, and there are three basic words, but they have a lot of meaning behind it. But those three basic words, if they're part of a lesson or an activity each day, you've done something powerful.
Exactly.
Three words that have a lot of power behind them. So it's great for us we'll take that from a district level, and then I know at the building levels they'll take it and run from there.
Yeah. And I would say just a continued emphasis on inspiring and growing every child. I think it's important that, over the last couple of years, we've worked with different groups within the educational community to talk about the profile of this area learner. And, we considered evolving technologies, generational research, and then just the contemporary workforce demands that they're asking for. The ability for kids to be able to problem solve, to tackle something independently, to assert their position on something in a collaborative environment. All of these skills are things that employers want our kids to leave us and enter the workforce with some experience. And so just a continued emphasis on that, really wanting to advance more in the area of cybersecurity and robotics. And so we have some teachers working with Carnegie Mellon University on a robotics program where we're actually going to receive robots from Carnegie Mellon. And, that's a very sophisticated curriculum. And so we look forward to advancing in that area. And then also with cybersecurity, the job market is just exploding. And that's an area where we want our kids to be prepared. We've done enough with it so far. And so just starting to integrate that, the basic knowledge of what cybersecurity is at the junior high level. And as those kids advance, just making sure that we're always advancing their competencies with that so that they leave us prepared for a workforce that would require that.
Absolutely. Well, that's a lot of information in a 15 to 20 minute conversation. And thank you for your leadership on all those. It's been a pleasure over 2 years working together and getting a feel for that and seeing the impact we've had in the classroom. And it's going to be really exciting to see it moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm also excited, and I'm sure that the high school principals will talk about their WINRU or the Learning Resource Center. I think that's going to just give us an opportunity to reach students and to make full use of APEX and small group remediation and, the provision of intensive interventions, things that our teachers were all making an effort to do, but we really didn't have the dedicated time or space for this to happen. And so now we'll have personnel that are housing that particular center every single day, every period of every day. And so I think we're moving in some really good directions. And I just think we're going to continuously get better.
Absolutely. And that you spoke about fits under the motto of move, engage, assess every student, every day. It's
right.
So
absolutely.
Well, thank you for taking the time. And for those of you who don't know Dr. Hudson, that gives you an opportunity to have place a face with a name and see all the exciting things that we have going on. And thank you for joining us today. Everybody have a great day.